It's your boy Oshin. This is Oshin's View, podcast, #1 podcast in the world. The lovely Miss Tiana.
Hey, the man hater, right?
Yes, this is Tiana, the man hater that has a husband. No, because my friends, I told a few of my friends me about the podcast this weekend, and they was like, telling them, who's going to be on this episode or whatever. And they was like, oh, and I'm not going to say his name. I'll say it off camera. But my man was like, oh, you mean the one that don't like men, but she's married? I was like, yeah. And instead of, my cousin always says, I never clear nothing up. So instead of me clearing it up, I was like, yeah, huh? I was like, yes, her.
Because anyone that knows me knows that I love men, especially black men. I hate penis people. And there's a huge difference. And I'm hard on penis people because I'm married to amazing black men. So I hold black men to a higher standard because I know the potential that you guys have. So I don't hate men. I just hold them accountable. And a lot of you penis people don't like it.
I believe your husband was a penis person before he married you.
Yeah, my husband, he was excellence in male form. And that's why he's my husband for the last 32 years.
Man, please. And that's gonna be a drop. That's gonna be a drop. The guys are not, they're like, every guy looking at this shit right now is like, man, please. Like, and he could be everything she said that he is to her. But to the guys and other people, they're like, every guy, I'm telling you now, this is not a shot at your husband. Every guy right now is looking at this joint with the Jerry curl face like, yeah, all right.
I've been with him since I was 14, so I've seen him through all of his stages in life into the amazing grown man that he is. So I understand,
He's probably looking at this like, man, please.
Nigga said I was a penis person.
You guys can't relate, but it's true. He's had his moments, absolutely. Of course, I had to raise him practically.
No, I'm saying, so if you wearing the jeans, what do you got, the Sassoons?
He raised me as much as I raised him.
Okay, Willie Negro in the building, fresh off the road, or whatever. Greg is back to 40%. Because I just didn't like the phone call earlier. I don't know why, I just didn't. But we were talking off camera and everything. We were talking about how there's a thin line between you and a woman or a man, because I'm one-sided, using somebody or taking advantage of them.
Or living off of them, because I feel like taking advantage and using is kind of
okay. Yes, living off of them. Well, I pride myself being the person. I've said this on camera before. I've said a lot of women I've dealt with, they can call me a lot of things at the end of our relationship or whatever, but none of them could ever call me a user.
Can you give me an example of some of those things?
I'm a ex-philanderer.
Ex-philanderer.
Yeah. Yes.
I like that.
Yes. Yes. That's because it's, with me, I'm like a word dictionary. It's certain words I just be liking to use.
And you can't wait to use them.
I can't, yeah, but you just can't put it out there for no reason like that. Ex-philanderer. I could be selfish at times. I don't know. That's probably about it. I'm probably I'm not too much of a handful. All right, put this. Let me show you the things. If can you cook?
Mm-hmm. Very well.
And that could be all well and good, but I probably eat only about 12 things anyway. So the way I look at it is, if you can't cook for me, you just can't cook, because my palate is so small and so basic with things. But we're talking about, negative things, I guess, so to speak. Wandering out. My flirting is not really flirting. If I'm flirting, I'm trying to hit it or whatever. I don't like friendly flirt or whatever. So I guess you could throw that under the umbrella of philandering or whatever. Like I said, after being a little selfish, which I'm going to get that a little asterisk, because I don't think I'm more selfish than the average person, because I still think of people a lot in relationships and stuff. But sometimes if it doesn't get checked, I can go on a run where it's like, shit, you've only been thinking about yourself.
So just a wandering eye and selfish. That's it.
That's probably about it.
So hard to believe, but go ahead. Finish
No,
your
I'm just
story.
saying that's what else, because all right, getting back to what we were talking about in terms of the using. This actually happened. So I'm gonna let you put whatever label you want to put on top of it and whatever the viewers say too. I was living in Atlanta for about a year. I was supposed to go down there and play basketball and everything, yada, yada, yada. But I went down there and had no job, and I was getting unemployment at the tune of like $550 every 2 weeks. No kid, gotta pay no rent, no mortgage, no nothing. Just living for the city, myself. And I'm not gonna lie, I had a 5-chick rotation. By 5-chick rotation, I mean, I had a woman that I was dealing with that lived in Stone Mountain, one that lived in Lithonia, one that lived in Kennesaw, one that lived in Atlanta, and one that lived in Marietta. That was it. And I'm a cheap date. That's another thing too. I'm a cheap date. You don't have to, even if you can pull out your wallet, you gotta put your wallet crazy for me, because I'm cool with McDonald's, I'm cool with fast food. I don't eat a whole lot, so we fine. So it's not like these women were women that were well-to-do too. All of them. They all had houses. They shit was straight. This is when the gayness of Atlanta was really booming or whatever. And
They was just happy to have a
yes,
man.
and exactly. Put it this, it pretty much was that. My job was to not mess it up and be straight. So that was easy enough. So I would just deal with them. I've had a rotation because I still was playing basketball. I would just hang out with one for 2 days, hang out another for 2 days, and then they would be like, I'm about to get you something to eat before you go back home, back to my cousin's house. I'd be like, nah, save your money. Take me to Kroger's. Shout out to Kroger's. That's the grocery store down there. And they would just give me groceries. So I got groceries in the house. I got sex on demand. I'm giving up all this good conversation and just being cool and pretty much I didn't realize that's what it was, but maybe after 2 months I was like, yeah, this is your job or whatever. And so just keep them laughing. And put it this, I ain't gonna lie, my freak level in the bed had to go up, because
How do you handle 5 women sexually?
that was like, that actually was just me chilling. The 5 rotation, that was me chilling.
Excuse me.
No, I'm just saying. Well, some women like you for different things or whatever. See, I can say it on camera. I've been a deep diver for a long time. Been a deep diver for a long time. You didn't really have to talk me into going downtown. I knew what SWV was talking about when the song came out.
Okay.
I knew what they was talking about or whatever. And once I got put onto that, I said, oh.
It was easy to, okay.
Yeah, I don't know too many women that don't like that anyway. But, never mind my things. Back to what we were talking about, clearly, my thing is this. It's women out here that I question, how are you allowing guys to use you? Now, I could put the onus on both ways, and to me, that's not a 50-50 thing, and I kind of want to hear what you want to say with that. It's not 50-50 because what a lot is the back end of it. I see women that were taking care of men while they weren't doing anything. Now, I'm not talking about a guy that me and you talk about all the time that's on the cusp. I'm talking about the guy that ain't doing nothing. And I'm not even going to kill the mixtape guy. I'm not even going to kill the podcast guy and stuff like that. I'm talking about you're not doing anything on a daily basis, and you are home, probably got a car, and you just doing whatever.
So 2 questions.
Yes.
Do you think you were using these women, and which guy were you?
Why did you drink that one?
I don't believe I was using them because I believe they were getting.
It was a fair exchange.
It was a fair exchange.
They were getting sex and good conversation.
Sex and great conversation and
and the male energy and
thank you.
Right.
That's exactly.
It's a fair exchange.
At least point this because
groceries.
they didn't need me. They didn't need me financially.
Right.
So I can't meet them.
Right.
Point this. Even meeting them financially That's not what they were looking for.
No.
Because they already had that. And the one thing that I can say about these women is crazy because I'm still cool with them. The crazy thing about it is they never brought up like the money thing.
What they did for you.
They never brought that up. They never brought it up. Now, granted, I was in no position to really go forward. Now, that part I did understand. I didn't think I was in a position to go forward with any of them, and it wasn't a matter of not liking them. You know what I'm saying, like that. But I did cut down
your
the
role.
few. Yeah, I kind of was like, this is not the time, because I was the type of person. I'm really a person that you have to earn the right to buy me stuff and do things for me, and I wanted to do things for them or whatever. So a few times we would go out. I pay for it. Now, I didn't go overboard because I understand it's every 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like, look here, don't let this one night out have you ruined for the next 7-8 days. You got to survive and everything. So I understood that, and I never played that role with them. Right. And that's what, and speaking to a few of them afterwards, you know, just having regular conversations, they would bring that up. Like, they was like, it was times that I wanted to spend XYZ on you, and you wouldn't let me. And it wasn't because I was so prideful, but I just was like, nah, it's okay.
So you absolutely were not the user.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to use them. I was like, nah.
Exchange. And we talked about this last time I was here, that women will absolutely forego that high-level man that people consider high-level with the finances for a man that's emotionally available, a man that's going to listen to them, talk to them, sex them down good. We will forget the money. So I get it, but that's the difference than being a user.
You think her friends was like, why you messing with this bum ass nigga?
No, because once again, I told you the gayness in Atlanta was booming.
And women understand. He's dicking you down.
And point this is not about two on. I believe there's a lot of guys out there do the same thing. What I'm saying is her friends, my thing is this, let's just put it out there, and I'm going to actually take this off of Tiana's plate so she don't have to say it and get attacked for it. There's wild, corny dudes out here. You know what I'm saying? Like this. I don't care how corny a chick might be in this instance. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about how easy it is not to woo a woman, but just to be regular in what women want to rock with. Like she said, being available. Point this, and this sounds bad, it sounds like a ploy, but it's not a ploy. Ask a woman, and any of you guys out there, if you want to try this, go ask a woman, let a woman have a time where she had an issue at her job or something that was just bothering her, whether it's her job or just personal in life, and let about a week and a half go by. The next time you see her, hey, by the way, bring that up. Oh, you done gained about 500 points.
Because we know you
Because you're listening.
Paid attention. That means he cares.
He has some level of vestedness inside how I feel.
Right.
He heard what I said. He listened. He didn't just hear it. He listened.
And he remembered.
That's it. And I'm a talker. So
yes, you are.
Yes, I'm a talker, but I'm also a great listener too. I'm a great listener too.
Also a great gigolo, because you was doing your thing out there with these women, yo.
I'm just saying.
But you were honest, and I think that's what separates the users from the people that are just an even exchange. Because users will lie to women, they will tell women whatever they feel like they want to hear to get what they want.
Yes,
you were being honest, weren't you?
Definitely being honest, and I'm definitely
know with other women.
No, they put this.
I don't think
maybe two of them. No, hold on. No, I want to answer that. Yeah. Two of them, I did tell them I'm talking to a few other. I'm talking to other women because me and you aren't exclusive. This, that, and the third. But this was the thing about it. When that kind of conversation comes up, if you don't want to go to be exclusive with this woman or not, I'm not saying avoid that conversation. You have one job in that regard. When you're with her, you make her feel like she's the one.
She's the only
and she's not going to worry about if you're dealing with somebody else. I'm telling, like, for real, because these are women, these were career women too. Like I said, all of their houses. I was like, damn, I mean, like y'all are doing y'all thing.
I mean, I feel you. You just sound like an Iceberg Slim book. Like you did the handbook on how to get women to do what you need them to do, baby.
No, but I'm just saying, like she said, a lot of times, put like this, I'm gonna keep it 100. I wish I would have understood honesty maybe when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Maybe when I was in high school.
Save yourself a lot.
things I had to learn. Right. It was like this. It was some lying going on. Or whatever. Keep it 100. It was some lying going on. It wasn't bad, but it was like looking back, like I could have avoided that situation had I just said this. And this and the third, because a lot of times all lying does is you think that you're gaining ground with something and you're not. You're actually losing ground because it's a Band-Aid for whatever is happening right there. Because the real issue is down the road.
And it's going to come back.
Exactly. It's going to come back. It's going to come back. So, like I said, you know, we joke around with the whole gigolo thing and stuff like that. Right. Being honest with a lot of these women. And like I said, it was to the point, none of them were really walking around talking about, I don't need a man. Because at the time, I don't think any of them really wanted a committed relationship because of what was going on in their lives. Right. They had, like I said, all of them, ironically, were corporate women too. All of them, or whatever. And one or two of them had kids or whatever. So they had things going on in their lives.
And women on that level don't care. As long as you're treating me good and and giving me what I need, my needs are being met, I don't care. We didn't got to talk about it. I'm not even going to ask any questions.
Exactly.
As long as I'm getting what I need, I don't care. Truthfully.
So what have you... All right. So I'm just devil's advocate.
Sure.
So what do you say about the guy who that's just what he did? That was a time in your life where you needed that, you did that. But what do you say about the guy that just kind of does that?
Makes a living.
This is what I do. I provide comfort for women. I provide penis for women. I provide them what they need. And in return, they provide me financial things. Like I get to use their car. I get to sleep in their house.
No, I think,
like that.
I'm sorry cutting you off. I think the men that you're describing, they're beyond just a car and a place to stay. Okay. I like if they chose for that to be their kind of lifestyle, it's more financial on their end. Right. I'm talking about they getting bank accounts. It's money being thrown to those accounts. I think those men are beyond just using a woman's car and getting the meal.
They're professionals.
Yeah, that's professionals. Now I'm not saying I couldn't have went that route. Pride wise, I don't think I can't go for that because look here, this is and I'm
no, we getting somewhere now.
Go ahead.
Why pride wise you couldn't go that route?
Because I'm really not. Because I don't want somebody just doing something for me. I just don't want. I like to do things for myself. I like to buy things for myself.
So
I like
it was
to buy
that.
things.
It wasn't that I feel bad for using people. That's not in me. It's just that I want to do shit for myself.
Well, I want to see. It's prideful for me, and I kind of brush past how bad it is using women because I believe. That's kind of common knowledge. Like, don't use people, period.
It's not, believe it or not.
No, you're absolutely right. What I'm saying is the reason why I didn't bring it up in that terms is because it was, to me, it went without saying. Right. Like, I would feel terrible just using you. So I don't have to bring that up, but for myself, I like to be able to go into my own account and do things. And I want to do things for you. But what you said opened the door for something else I was just thinking. I don't believe these roles that men and women pretend to be on for these times is forever. We all want real companionship. We all want, thank you, we all want real connections. So it's like when women and men play the role of, oh, I can do this forever, I don't care. I don't believe that.
Well, that's where I was going. Yeah, that's where I was going because that's why I said, because you said pride-wise, and I was thinking, okay, what about women? Because, you know, watch social media or listen to female rap, it's the opposite. It's about using men to get what they want. And in some cases, it could be transactional. I give the man what he needs. He pays for this. He gives me money. He buys me a car. I have money in my bank account. So when you said pride-wise, you have some type of moral compass that, you know, okay, I need to do some things for myself. Mm-hmm. But, you know, it constantly was perpetuated now, especially with younger women, is that, no, men should be doing things for you. You should use how you look and things like that to give men what they want so they can give you what you want. And what do you say to that dynamic?
You want to get that one? Yeah, go ahead.
Not
You
new.
get that
It's
one.
not new.
It's been happening from the beginning.
It's
of
not
time.
new, but it's
And it's not the rule that women set. Women didn't say this is how things are gonna be. Again, women play by the rules that men set. You guys put so much emphasis having this trophy wife and looks, and if again, I hate bringing up Kevin Samuels, but that was your daddy, and everything he preached was fine and feminine and all of that. So women feel pressure to do that. We need to do these things if we want a man to be happy and satisfied with us. We're not the ones who are saying it's all about the looks. Yeah, you might hear women talk about it and rap about it now because it's just like taking their power back, like how we did with the N-word. Women take their power back about how we're sexualized so much, and they've taken that and they've empowered themselves with it and doing shit on their own terms.
Well, I didn't say anything about looks or anything. What I said was, now it's the narrative is just so in your face and prevalent that you should use men for money, for things, and not just money and things, just luxury things like, if you just go on Instagram or just listen to any music, regular stuff ain't important. Like, yo, if he, pay half your rent, that's not good enough.
But is it just the women rapping about it? Because for the beginning of, since rap has been, I've heard men talking about throwing money at women. In every video, it's a beautiful woman throwing money at them in the cars. So I don't really think it's just...
and they called them hoes.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. And women took that power back and they switched it.
Oh,
okay?
so they hoes.
So
They just
no,
wanna
I'm
be
not saying
hoes.
that they're hoes. Are you niggas? Just because somebody call you nigga, don't we take the word back and we use it to empower ourselves? Women do the same thing and men cannot stand that shit. For so long, it's fuck women, women are hoes.
Dudes don't say fuck women.
Y'all said it in y'all music for a lot of years. So
No, we said bitches ain't
don't-
shit, and that every woman is not a bitch.
I'm pretty sure I can find fuck hoes, fuck women.
Yeah,
fuck
but
hoes.
every woman isn't a hoe or a bitch.
I get that, but that's.
But we're only
what
talking about them.
I get
Go ahead,
that.
now go
We
ahead.
know that every woman isn't a bitch, and we know that I don't take offense to it because I can't relate
Facts.
to that. But again, when you're constantly playing this over and over again to impressionable minds, that's what they see. They don't know the difference between a woman and a bitch.
Yeah.
Every woman looks like a bitch to them.
Okay.
And what were we talking about?
No. Basically, no.
I was just talking about the dynamic of men kind of using women for things and women kind of using men for things. Like you said at the beginning of time, it's kind of okay for
That's
women.
why prostitution is the oldest profession. Men use women for pussy. Pussy got money.
Prostitution is the oldest profession because a lot of dudes is corny and they can't get no pussy. 100%. So
There's lots of men who are beautiful, powerful, rich men who can get pussy and still would rather go to a prostitute.
Right, because it's easy. It's easier to do that. But prostitution is alive for... Listen, prostitution is a rough game. You're not just fucking dudes that look amazing.
Right.
9 times out of 10, you fucking a dude that look crazy as hell that got up this money so he can get some pussy.
This is...
You could choose, though. There's lots of women who are sex workers who choose.
There's a lot of women who can't.
Who choose.
Hold on, we talking about real life prostitution?
Yeah,
I
real
thought
life
we was just
prostitution.
No, I thought, no, honestly, yeah, 'cause I
We're
thought
not
we
talking
was...
about hookers on the point with no teeth in their mouth. Yeah, they don't really have a choice. But you're talking about women
You know about
who are
hookers on
out
the
here.
point? You know about hookers at the point?
I used to love that show.
I was in the Bronx. I used to chill at Hunts Point. That's why when she said hookers at the point, I was like,
Hookers at the point, that was my
I almost
shit.
forgot we was on the thing. I was like, you know about Hunts Point? You know
What was the one's name who didn't have the teeth?
Well,
The Spanish woman who did not have
now,
the
I know what you're
teeth.
talking about, but I don't
And
know
I
her.
remember she was
That's
giving
so
head, and she says they like her blowjobs, so she didn't have teeth.
Shout out to all my BX peoples, man, for real. Because y'all have heard God Bless the Dead on Black Raw when he said, when I was close to the edge, I'd probably be in the wedge. That was at Hunts Point. That's strip club, because there's strip clubs down there and stuff like that. That's why she threw me back. When she said the point,
And I
I was
love
like,
the way
what?
she used to talk to them and talk about, you love this chocha. I used to love that.
Yes, I remember her. But no, this is what I wanted to bring up with that, with the whole, this say, but let's just say women's, excuse me, what you call it, when women talk about what you have to get at me, when they're so blunt and saying what you have to have, so if I have those things, I could just throw that at you, and you have to, in turn, give me what I'm. Just hear me out for a second.
In your mind,
because
yes.
no, not in my mind. I'm just saying, when your attitude is, nigga, you better come with that bag. You better be such and such. Okay, I'm gonna come with the bag, but best believe me coming with the bag, I'm leaving respect at the door. I'm leaving listening to you at the door.
Why?
Because that's not what's conducive of a mate of how I'm dealing with. Because the woman that I'm really going to deal with and really spend a real bag on,
isn't going to ask
she's
for those
not going to
things.
ask
So
for
why
it like
even
that.
deal with her on that level?
Before
Guys
you go,
do it and then they complain about the shit.
no, they shouldn't be complaining. And I'm going to tell you why even deal with it. Because once again, sometimes these shallow women of these ridiculous sayings look good.
They look good.
They look good.
But there's
That's
a lot
just
of
what it
women
is.
who are
Sometimes
genuinely
low-hanging fruit
like
is
you.
sweet.
There are women who
Yes.
genuinely like
Ooh,
you
that was a
who
good one.
look good too.
Low
What's a good
hanging
one? You
fruit.
like that?
What
Yeah,
did you say?
that
I'm
was-
sorry, I
I was
missed
tapping my
that.
feet. Say it
Sometimes
again.
low-hanging fruit is sweet. You know, that was a good one. I like
Shit,
that.
I'm mad. That's one of those things.
And that's why y'all asses
I'm
get
mad.
into trouble
I'm
now.
mad. I didn't think of that.
That's why y'all, that was a good one, but that's why y'all get into trouble now because of that.
I ain't gonna lie. It's times that I would, not now, but just in the past, I'll be looking online. I'm like, damn, I ain't gonna lie. Had a couple extra dollars, and that's all the bitch want. Okay, here you go. See, but for me, this is why it's hard for me to ever get into the money game. Not because of the finances, it's because I always say it's a dangerous game and it's fickle. It's fickle because I've seen it from different sides. You can go in the club. I've been in the clubs. I'm not a drinker. I go in the clubs. I'm with friends. They popping bottles and stuff, and I'll be like, yo, I'm gonna call these women up here in our VIP section. Okay, go ahead. They coming over. They don't know who got the bread. They don't know I didn't pay for that. I'm just like, yo, ladies, are y'all ladies thirsty? And I'm pouring the drinks for them and stuff. You know, I'm being charismatic, whatever, messing with them, this, that, and the third. My man is not blowing it up. He's not like, yeah, I'm the bag.
Right.
He just chilling because he glad the women in, and he's like, yo, yes, run the point. And that's it.
That's why the roadie always gets pussy.
Pretty much. Or, you know what I'm saying, that's how it can go. See, but the thing is, at the end of the night, we understand this is for the night. I'm not taking them serious. Because guess what? If this is how they're acting, because we got a little 4 bottles here, what happened when that dude come in the club the next day? He got tables of it. Y'all don't want to be over here. Y'all want to be over
you're
there.
Smart, but so many men get caught up and trapped in that pretty face and that fat ass and everything that is wrong and toxic for them. And that's why you guys get yourselves in trouble, because you get greedy. You get greedy. I say that men, and I'm not a proponent of cheating or none of that, but all you need is about two good but different women to fill in what you're missing, because everybody can't give you 100%. There's not one person that's going to give you 100% of everything that you need.
What do you think that's missing? I don't
know. It's subjective.
It is.
Some people, somebody can, I want the woman who's a good mother and wife and cares for me and cooks for me, but she's boring as fuck. I want the good businesswoman, but she's boring as fuck. So you have someone that's sexy and popping her pussy for you and shit like that. Like, sometimes you have to fill in that void, but I think men get 2 good women and be happy and stay away from the trouble, because you guys get yourselves in trouble.
Do you think, I want to ask Will this, do you think sometimes, I want you to answer yourself because I got an idea where you're going to go with it. Feel that I could kind of make the woman who I want them to be. Like any woman that I've really dealt with, they've kind of all been curtailed to exactly what I wanted them to be.
Well, either it was already in her,
no, it definitely was.
She is
Thank
mindless
you.
and is a follower and has no spine of her own that she can let a man. I mean, because
I've never like
that,
I can't deal
people
with
that you're
anymore.
with have the power to influence you, and they should influence you to change you for the better. And you're going to take some of their habits, sometimes some of their bad habits. That's going to happen. But for a woman to totally change who she is to please a man, it's gonna backfire on you.
Well, eventually. I think that when you choose somebody, you choose them for certain characteristics. You see what I'm saying? But what you do is, and what they do as well, is you kind of mold each other into what you want them to be. You know what I mean? Because you tell me what you like, I tell you what I like, and we kind of mold each other in that.
In a perfect world. Because if you want your ass licked, is not going to lick your ass, and I don't care if you want a threesome. Every woman is not going to be happy to put her face in pussy if she doesn't like women. So there's certain things that you cannot mold people into doing. It has to be in them.
I didn't know where the ass licking thing came from, because I remember the first time.
There's a lot of men who are into that now.
No, the reason why I'm saying no, because I've only the first time I heard a guy openly say he was gonna get his ass licked, like I was like, what? This was, God bless the dead, my man Al B. He, what you call it? He was our black superhero. He did it all. Like, he was cool, he was handsome, curly hair.
Light skin?
No, he wasn't light skinned. He's actually probably like a little darker than you. And he could play sports. He was funny. He was tough. Like, he could fight. He was a street guy, graduated from A&T. He had a lot going for him. But mind you, he was about 10, 12 years older. So this wasn't no like 3-year-old dude with us. He was older, so he's seen things a lot. Came outside, other older dudes, his peers was out there too. So we just hanging out. I don't even think, I probably was like maybe 15 at the time. So he probably was what, 25, 26. He came out, they was like, yo, Al, where you going, man? Mind you, he was like the first dude in the hood wearing like the sandals and stuff, like with the in between the toes. Cause he was going getting his feet done. He was a pretty boy gangster, like in every sense of the word. And he didn't care. Like, people hear a joke, he'd just be like, man, y'all niggas ain't up on this shit. And that was it. So when he would do it, you really couldn't clown it, because he was all everything he did. So he was like, they was like, yo, Al, where you going? He was like, man, I'm about to go see such and such. He was like, they was like, word? He was like, yeah, I'm about to get my motherfucking ass licked. Mind you, this is 1992.
You didn't talk about eating pussy.
Exactly. I'm not even, this is 92.
Right.
I swear to God. No, he said, no, listen, and he's cool. He was cool. So even how he said it, he didn't say it with any type
like
of
his masculinity was threatened.
Yeah, he was just like, he was like, what y'all niggas doing? He was like, what y'all niggas doing? He was like, well, I'm about to go get my motherfucking ass licked. Like that. So when he said it, then listen, but when he said it, you see the difference. Yeah. My peers, it was like 4 of us there. We all was like, this nigga talking about. But his peers was like, oh, I bet. They was like, all right. He gave niggas daps and left. So when I hear this shit 2018, some odd years later, I was like, Sticker was talking about that shit in 92, getting his ass licked and stuff.
That's the old trade secret. If you really want that man to be with you forever, lick his ass.
Well, it not happened, because it happened to me one time, and I'm not with her forever. But I do give her props for giving me the experience.
Did you enjoy it?
Yes, I did. But the thing about it is, surprisingly, I enjoyed it. But now, this is what happened. I personally feel it's only one way to get your ass licked.
That's what you're gonna ask, with your legs up in the air?
Oh, no, I don't mean how you get your ass licked.
I want to ask that too.
We can get to that. She was topping me off. So she starts going to work, licking and stuff. I'm like, the head was, I ain't gonna say it was phenomenal, but it was great. So I guess I can be whatever. She's doing her thing. So she's licking down. So she gets by the balls. Normally, I wasn't a ball guy at the time, because I'm looking like, whatever. But her tongue was going 1,000 miles an hour. So I said, okay, this feels a little different. So then, it's an adult show. So, you got underneath the gooch, I guess what they call it. She was doing her thing, and I was like, okay. So now I'm a little tingly. Then next thing you know, now initially, then I felt the tongue on my ass. Now I got a choice to make. Kick this bitch off the bed or ride with it. I said, well, I guess this is the shit he was talking about. So let's ride with it.
Because he said it was okay.
Because he said, mind you, but this was like in this is 2000.
So it's cool.
2000 at this point. It's 8-9 years later.
Al said it was okay.
Al stamped it. Let's see how it goes.
I want to know, how was your legs? Because I've always wondered the position you put men in when you're gonna lick his ass. Did your legs go up in the air?
Well, for me, I ain't gonna lie. I had one leg behind my neck. holding it up. So the left leg was straight.
You're never supposed to do that.
No. Well, that's like this. We was in the moment, and in the moment, that's what I felt like.
So she came
My
behind
leg
you,
was
lifted
straight.
that leg
This
up.
right leg went up over her neck. She held it down for support, and she went to work.
Please, I can't. That visual is too much.
And that's how that go. I hit it. Yo, shout out to Ray J, because that boy is crazy.
Brandy's father?
Ray J is crazy. It's crazy. He's back in the tabloids again. I guess that's what you call social media, because you don't even know what's real anymore. So Ray J is not, well, he's not alleging. He has receipts. He has receipts. He has text messages. He has phone messages and everything else. He finally dropped the bomb and let us dumb folk realize that the Kim K and Ray J tape wasn't accidentally leaked.
20 years later.
Yeah.
We already knew
No,
this.
we never knew. Of course, I guess we never knew. We
think we didn't, but like me and a lot of people, why every time you knew what you were getting involved with? Him, Kanye, Lamar, you knew what you're getting involved with dealing with these women in this family. And when they do you dirty, you want to cry to the public about you picked the wrong black man and blase, blase.
That was early. Did Ray J know?
He knew because of all the things that she did stealing from his family prior to them even sex tape. She was a stylist for what, Brandy or somebody in the family.
I didn't know this. Go ahead.
Yeah, she's took the credit card, charged up a whole bunch of shit, got in trouble for it. So she was doing a lot of shady shit. He knew what he was getting involved with. Anytime somebody is making if your mother is watching your sex tape, making us remake the sex tape just in case. We have contracts for writers and things for this sex tape. You know exactly what you're dealing with.
Know,
and so don't cry foul now 20 years later.
He was messing with a beautiful woman.
He knew what he was getting with
first
the family.
First of all, disclaimer. Ray J can't do too much wrong in my eyes. Yo, Ray J is one of the most entertaining people.
He's very entertaining.
In the world.
He can still be wrong though and still be entertaining.
He can, but I don't know. I don't know that a 20-year-old Ray J knew what he was getting into with Kris Jenner. I just don't. I think that Kris Jenner is a master manipulator, and I give Ray J more grace than I give Kanye.
I can because of the age, but I don't give either of them grace because again, you
hate men.
You pick these women.
I'm just playing.
I didn't even hear it. What did he say?
He said because you hate men.
I'm gonna let that slide.
Okay.
Because the Ravens won today. I'm feeling good, so I'm gonna let that slide.
Yeah.
But as I was saying, again, they pick better. 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old, pick better.
The thing is, reason why I'm not giving Kanye the most grace because you had a whole example in Ray J's whole situation. So you, but this, even if
Reggie,
you didn't
Bush,
know,
all of them.
Yes. See, but I heard she was dealing. Hold up, yeah, you're right. She was dealing with Reggie Bush before she was dealing with Kanye.
And one of the things that Reggie Bush had an issue was with her,
Reggie Bush,
her fame hogging,
Humphries.
and what he did to Chris, what she did to Chris Humphries.
This is what I'm saying.
That was foul.
But the point is, okay, rich people are going to deal with rich people.
Right.
We
It's
get
of
it.
our
We get it. It definitely is. Like I always say, and I always just throw this in the air. If, like when Beyonce was on by Jay-Z,
Right.
you're not going to make waves, Beyonce, by cheating back on Jay-Z with another rich dude. Find me. You know what I'm saying? Cheat on my salary. Cheat on nigga with my salary. That will sting.
But listen, if Ray
That'll hurt the hell out of him.
would have been truthful and said this in the beginning or not participated in it, we would not have had the bullshit that the Kardashians and the family has brought to our lives.
Do you think that Ray J is a little tight that he didn't get a chance to cash in? Because they cashed in.
Their family became billionaires. Their family exceeded to the top of the food chain while it didn't do much for him. So I think he's definitely feeling it didn't do much. He's still known as Brandy's brother. It did not do.
No, we're not gonna do that.
But
Ooh, I don't know.
We're not gonna do that.
it didn't do. Regardless of what you feel about Ray J, it did not have the same effect as it did for Kim Kardashian.
No, I understand that. Yes.
So that's what we're talking about. So I believe that
he did cash in.
he did. He got some money off of it, but I believe that
And he's a spin artist. He used it to cash in to create.
We do not feel sorry for him because he took advantage of the situation, and now that it didn't have the same effect for him that it did for Kim Kardashian, he's feeling kind of salty about it. Because if he was really so upset and hurt, he would have said this a long time ago. We wouldn't have had all these goddamn reality shows and the effects that came from the Kim Kardashian effect. None of this shit if he was honest in the beginning.
Well, he got paid to not be honest in the beginning. The problem is
right. So shut the fuck up now.
Oh shit.
Well, he did for 20 years, but they keep dragging his name in the mud.
They do keep bringing it up every time they have their show. But again, you were a willing participant. You signed all these deals and these contracts.
But if somebody keeps lying on you, and then his story is they breached the NDA, so now he can say what he wants.
But all this shit that he's the victim and you mess with the wrong black man. That's what he's saying. You mess with the wrong black man.
Right, but he's not a victim. Well, he get to tell his truth.
What he acts. He should. You know, he should absolutely tell the truth. But I wish he would have told the truth 20 years ago, and we would not have had the Kardashian bullshit that we've had to endure for the last 2 decades.
We did have to. I didn't have to endure it. I don't care.
But look at the effects that came from it. I mean, you know, she kind of shaped Instagram and social media and the shit that people are doing. She shaped the BBL trend and all this shit. So if Ray J would have nipped this shit in the bud 20 years ago, imagine how different life might be now.
Imagine. I don't want you to leave from the fact of, because I never thought about it like that too. He didn't cash in the shit.
No.
She cashed in everything in every sense of the word. Cash in. And I understand.
He benefited from it.
He benefited.
All the way in.
He benefited.
Let's just be
she
real.
don't even have that word because it's ridiculous what she got from that.
Is a genius. Is a fucking genius. Let's give her a hand.
Kris Jenner and Kim Kardashian are legends.
Based off of the sex tape.
Based off of the whole plan.
But based off of the sex tape.
Based off the whole plan. There's a lot of people that got sex tapes. It ain't a lot of people that cashed in like they did.
No,
they wasn't the first sex tape.
But she did it purposely because of her friend Paris. I feel like she was.
Paris didn't cash in like this.
But I feel like she was a little bit. It shot Paris up there a little bit, and I feel as though she did that because that was like back then. That was the recipe. You want to get hot. You want to get famous. Have a sex tape. You look at Pamela Anderson and all of that. That was the thing back then.
They were the first ones,
but
actually.
Who did it like them?
No, they capitalized
because they capitalized on it because it was done on because it was done on purpose.
Absolutely, that's what makes them legends.
But a lot of the people were like their shit just got kind of leaked, but they did that shit. They marketed it. They capitalized off of it. They took it to another level.
Yes, they did.
So he can't cry wolf and foul now.
Yo, Ray J can do what he wanted to do.
I'm just saying, you know, what you call it, we know he didn't fully get everything. First off, he's on all these reality shows and this, that, and the third, and none of these shows are like his or whatever. Like,
no, that's not true.
What show was his?
That's not true. For the Love of Ray J was his.
Yeah, For the Love of Ray J.
He was in Love of Ray J?
How
did that do?
It did great.
It did pretty well.
Like 2 or 3 seasons. Like, yeah,
I never seen that shit.
I would say it wasn't the Kardashians.
This is what I'm saying.
Ray J is up. Don't get it twisted. But Ray J... let's not do that.
What?
But he
I
up
got 5 pools, indoor pools, outdoor pools.
Ray J is up, but he executive produced and created a lot of shows. A lot of shows on Oxygen, all these side networks. He like I said, he capitalized off of this the same way, not the same way. Capitalized off of this, but they just had a legendary run.
He didn't need it. They did.
He did need it.
He didn't need it.
Why didn't he need it?
He didn't need to do the sex tape to have what he has because I feel as though his career would have been the same regardless.
There's no For the Love of Ray J.
But he came from a very powerful family, black family. So I feel as though he would have had his notoriety if he did the sex tape or not. It was more of a benefit and a help for Kim than it was for him. He would have been okay.
Of course, it was more, but I don't know that he would have been. He would have been okay, but he wouldn't have been Ray J.
Who was Ray J? Brandy's brother. He's still not.
It's not true. That's to you.
He's still.
There's a lot of these young people don't know who Brandy is.
You are a fan, a huge fan. It's obvious. You love
that's
that
not
man.
True. That's not true.
You
That's
just
not
said
true.
he can't do.
He's entertaining. That's a joke. He's entertaining.
But you just said he can't do any wrong in your eyes. So
he can't do much wrong. It was a joke.
That's right. So
it was a joke.
So you kind of can't have a
yes, I can.
a biased conversation.
No, it was a joke. But what a fact is that a lot of these young people know who Ray J is and don't really know who Brandy is. For example, Jack Harlow knew who Ray J was and did not know who Brandy was. That's a fact.
Who's Jack Harlow?
Exactly.
It's the fact that Brandy.
It's
the fact that Ray J has always been known as Brandy's brother from my generation.
Yes,
maybe
from our generation.
Your young kids are on to something else, but even from our generation, they don't know Ray J because of his sex tape. That was still our generation thing. The Kim K sex tape.
What we know Ray J for?
For being Ray J.
Oh, wait a minute.
Hold. We know Ray J for being Ray J.
For being Ray J. We know Ray J from his reality show.
He know reality show.
We know Ray J from his little brother. We know Ray J from being entertaining and doing the shit like he did on the Verses. That's what I know Ray J for.
No, he was. You're making my point. He was Brandy's little brother, and then he had a sex tape, and now he's a personality.
He been a personality.
No, he didn't. He was Ray J's little brother. After the sex tape.
Brandy's.
I disagree.
I mean, he was Brandy's little brother.
I disagree.
What did he do before the sex tape?
He had music.
That wasn't that good.
What music?
But he was still always there as Brandy's little brother.
Because that's what you even say that. That's what Little Kim said in the actual song.
But that's what we all knew him from, Brandy's little brother.
Yes, but the sex tape changed. That propelled him.
When Little Kim said that took off. That was like a meme in modern day time, Brandy's little brother, and that's what he became known as. Yes, he had the sex tape, but again, in my opinion, regardless if he had the sex tape or not, I believe his career, which isn't at the top of the food chain, would have had the same type of trajectory if he didn't do the sex tape or not.
No, he wouldn't. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
How could you say that? Because there's...
Because he had a reality show?
After the sex tape.
Okay.
No sex tape. Those things ain't happening.
I don't think so.
Okay, let's take it back. So
why would he have a?
Because again, he already has the platform because of who his family is and who his sister is.
No, a lot of people got the platform.
It would have been for the love of Brandy's little brother.
The sex tape did not give Ray J personality. The sex tape didn't do that.
Right.
He just needed the platform. So he would have still been Ray J, and the social media came out. He would have still been doing the little stupid ass videos and doing the shit that he does, regardless if he had a sex tape.
Before like that.
Because we didn't have social media then. So again, we keep saying, "Oh, it was the sex tape that propelled him." How do we know it's no shit that social? We didn't have social media back then.
What I'm saying is, no, I was with you up until a point. You can't say that the sex tape didn't propel him for the simple fact. Let's just break down. Music-wise, he wasn't at the top. He wasn't even close to being a big artist.
That's why I say we know him because that line Little Kim said, Brandy's little
brother. And we know him for being on Moesha. He had a totally different. Hold up, sex tape gave him a totally different outlook on life because he was already. You're not getting on. First off, you're not getting on Moesha with a sex tape out and being on Moesha. You're not doing that. They put him on Moesha because of the wholesomeness of his personality.
I think again,
once he got the sex tape, that switched him over for the same reason.
If we didn't have social media, maybe I would say, okay, it would be easier to judge. But social media gave people a lot of personality and have them doing a lot of things that we wouldn't have seen them doing without that platform. So I think it's a bit of social media. I don't think the sex tape did anything for Ray J. It did everything for Kim, and I don't think it did much for Ray J.
People cared about Ray J.
Okay, I get it. I'm not going to agree. I'm not going to agree.
All right.
I'm sorry.
That's the thing, and I think
do nothing for him.
I know. I'm not saying it didn't do anything. Yeah, some people who didn't know him might know him, but it did not take his career to what he thought it was going to do or what it did for Kim. He would have could have.
Well, we've already discovered
what he's doing now. He could have did it without the sex tape because he's not doing. He's not a billionaire. He's not doing amazing things. What he's doing now could have happened without the sex tape.
So how was Kim?
What Kim is doing now could not have happened without her sex tape. That's my point.
No, that's not fair. That's not fair.
No, that's a fact.
That's a fact.
Listen, what I mean by it's not fair, what's not fair is this. if she can't do what she's doing now without the sex tape, we don't get to say without the sex tape, Ray J would have still been doing his thing. No, he's not doing. He's not doing that.
Ray J still, even though it might not have been the name that you guys think it was, or he was doing what he was, Ray J still had a name before the sex tape.
No,
That's my
but what
point.
I'm saying
Little
is this.
Kim did not. I mean,
No, I don't care about
Kim Kardashian did not.
No.
She was a stylist. He still came from a powerful family. He was still out there, regardless if his music was trash. He was on a TV show. He was still out.
Watch this.
Nobody knew who Kim Kardashian was.
And that's cool. We know the trajectory got there from that. Watch this though. Certain events in life change your trajectory, and now you go on in an alternate life. And I'm gonna tell you another example of that. Chris Brown, before he was already the wholesome kid, he's Mr. Yo, can I see ya? Once he started putting his hands on Rihanna after that, he's bad boy Chris now, gang such and such Chris, and it opened up a whole new lane for him.
Why do you think Ray J is so mad?
I don't care why he's mad.
Ray
What
J
I'm
is
saying
upset
is this.
because he feels as though, and he said this himself in these posts, that it trashed his name. He feels as though it hurt his career because he got the blame for leaking the sex tape and a whole bunch of shit, and she was this sweet, honest girl. So you even said it earlier, Moesha, his whole vibe was wholesome.
Yes.
He was doing this. So imagine what could have happened if he didn't get the charge for leaking the sex tape and you were having sex with this wholesome white woman on TV and you let her sex tape get out and now her life is trash. Like, he feels that he got the short end of the stick and he got all this bad press over the sex tape, and that's why he feels as though he wants to speak his truth now.
Yo,
He's wrong.
he's played this.
And he did get the short end of the stick.
He got the short end of the stick, but he didn't get the short end of the stick because he didn't. Wrong.
It could have hurt his. I feel like it could have hurt his
Play
career. He
this.
could have
No,
been better.
I'm not saying. What I'm saying is this. I personally think this is the best thing that happened to him that way, and he got a lot of things after that. What I'm saying is this. You don't get to leak this stuff, and you know that this is leaking, and then because she made this kind of money,
Get
and then you
upset.
didn't, now you get upset.
That's why I said he needs to shut the fuck up.
No, you should have. Now, in that case, you don't get to be like, damn, I thought we all was going to get deals. It didn't happen like
But
that
no, he
for
says
you.
that they trashed him. They messed up his life. They're hurting his kids. He says he's pulling all these receipts for his family and his kids because he's tired of being bad talked. This is what I'm saying. I can't take it seriously.
He bet you, yeah. He bet you.
He is, but I love it, yo. He's 100% wrong.
I can't get behind it. Like, again, you don't need to say anything. You let the shit slide 20 years ago. You were a willing
Because
participant.
he thought it had something else waiting for it, and it didn't work out like that for him.
Now we don't want to hear it. It's a little too late.
Yep.
You let the whole Kardashian shit spin the fuck out of control, and now we're in an alternate reality that we didn't have to be in.
Yes, so I was looking at something. I think I sent it to you when they were talking about masculinity becoming obsolete, and they were talking about how women are the ones that's driving the car for that one. And it's like, on one hand, this is what women are trying to make masculinity obsolete, but then turning around saying, where all the real men at?
Who said women are driving the car for this?
Was that Candace Owens?
Yeah.
That's what that
Please,
was.
I
Thank you,
can't
Mr.
take her
Thing.
seriously. Really, you're gonna sit here and quote Candace Owens?
Yo, she made some points. She made some points. And my thing is, pull it this. She pretty much said, I'm not gonna say exactly what I always been saying, but when I hear women make claims like, oh, he has to be corporate, but have a little street in them too.
And that's okay.
He has to be a thug, but has to know how to put on the suit.
She has to be a virgin, but know how to pop it like a porn star. She can't have too many partners, but be
Let me
experienced.
stop you right there.
It's the same.
Nobody has ever said be a virgin.
It's the same.
A man
I'm
has
going
said be
to
a
the
virgin.
extreme, but
Yes, you definitely did.
But men do not, when your guys go to that whole numbers count, you do not want a woman who has had a whole lot of partners, but you love the woman who's experienced. It's the same thing.
No,
it's the
it's not
same
the same
contradiction.
thing.
Experience is not numbers. Experience is not a number.
We also don't ask the number.
You might not ask a number, but for a lot of men, not having a sexual promiscuous woman is important to them. They do not want a woman that has slept around, who have been still like the woman who's experienced. It's the game of
But
contradictions.
the problem is,
it's the game of
why?
contradictions.
Hold up. Why does numbers equal experience?
It doesn't. I never said it did.
But you're implicating that it does.
I'm not implicating it.
By saying
I'm not implicating
you want
it.
experience, but you don't want the numbers.
I spend a lot of time on social media. I spend a lot of time listening to the bullshit that you men post. And the number game is still being asked
No,
by
it's not.
men.
You just said he didn't accident. I don't be
The
knowing
number
niggas
game
the
is still,
accident.
y'all might not believe it, but the number is still asking. People are still asking. Partners is still a huge thing for
women
men.
do that. Men ain't no
women
man.
don't really care.
You know what the problem
in
is?
The history of mandom said, "Hey, babe, how many niggas you done slept with?"
They might not say it in that outward way, but they do
So
care.
how would they possibly say it?
Men do care.
No, women say it like that.
I've seen men.
Hey,
I've
what's
seen
your
men
number,
ask.
babe?
I've seen men ask, "How many men do you have?" I mean, how many men have you slept with?
You know who asked that? I'm gonna keep it 100. You know who asked that?
What?
Guys that got women, female friends.
Guys
we
who
may
are
ask a woman friend
guys
that.
who are
We're not asking
insecure,
chicks that we trying to mess
Guys
with.
who are insecure, guys who are misogynistic, guys who are like you guys cannot believe this shit, but it happens.
This
it
is
happens.
imaginary. I just
It
don't.
We're not.
happens.
No. See, you know what the problem is? No.
Asking
no.
a girl how many men.
Not their girl, but
they
their
slept
potential
with.
dates. There's ways that women are vetting women. They do want to know these things.
Dudes,
No, they don't. Men don't
You
want to know.
don't. You don't.
No, men
You
don't.
don't. You don't.
No,
men,
no.
men will even ask other
Watch this.
men. Men will even vet women by other men. You hear anything about her? Like, I'm talking to Shorty.
That's
Let
different.
me know.
That's something
No,
totally
because
different.
they
That's
also
something
want to
totally
know.
different.
Because if the guy came back, yeah, Shorty, I heard Shorty was doing such and such, such and such. Nah, all right, then they don't want to mess with it. Men do that. That does matter. I don't know. Like, sometimes I want to get up and walk the hell out of here because
Sometimes I want to throw you the hell out.
you
This
guys
shit
act
hurts.
like the shit is so freaking just, oh my God, I can't
No,
believe
no,
it.
we do. No.
That's
See,
crazy.
no. While Will saying he doesn't, he can't believe it. He's bailing you out because you know
I don't
what?
need to bail
I know,
out.
no,
I know what I see and I know what I hear.
And you know what I hear when you say that. You talk to a lot of suckers because that's the only thing that you getting that from.
It doesn't matter if they're suckers.
No, it does matter.
If they're suckers, if they're penis people
no,
or not.
No,
it
happens.
Doesn't. You
it
guys
doesn't.
sit up here
It
trying to
does
tell me
matter.
it doesn't. So does it? No, you try to tell me it
No,
doesn't
I never
exist.
said that. I never said
you
that.
Said it doesn't
Will
happen.
said that.
You doesn't
No, I
happen.
said no.
I don't care if they're suckers. I'll admit that they're suckers.
No, it does matter if they suckers.
But regardless, it happens. So
No,
let's
it
just
does matter. It does. Context matters.
But it happens.
All right,
But we never.
We can't move on. Let's agree that it happens.
Hold up.
We will
Let's
no,
agree
we will
that it
not
happens.
move on.
Men care about women's sex count. They
Hold
do.
on.
They do
They
not
do.
want a hoe. Men do
They
not
do.
want a hoe.
Tell me, hold
Men
up,
might
hold up.
not
Let her go,
out
let
and
her go.
say,
Let her shoot herself in the foot.
how many men have you slept with? They might not come straight out and ask that specific. Well, some men have, but ask that
Let her shoot
specific
herself in the
question
foot.
that way. I don't need to shoot myself in the face.
But you've been
because
doing
you're
it
trying to
a
act
little
like
bit.
this shit doesn't exist.
We never
You
said
do.
that.
What I'm saying.
What I'm saying. Hold up. No.
Now,
Hold up before you go.
okay, now
What I'm saying is this.
exists. It exists, but it only exists for suckers.
No,
It
what
still
I'm saying is
exists.
this.
It still exists.
Hold on, no, I just want to ask one question. Do you believe? So when I gave you that example of me dealing with the 5 women, so you think every dude out here can mess with 5
never
chicks?
said every
No, I'm
dude.
asking. Do you believe that?
The
Because
majority of
do you
dudes
think
can mess
majority
with
dudes
5
can do that? Don't be naming the 5 good-looking, great Idris Elba-looking niggas you know.
No,
I'm talking about average niggas.
You don't have to be extremely good looking.
It's not about the looks. I'm just saying,
to deal
period.
with multiple women.
Do you believe that the average dude is doing
men
it?
can deal with 5 women.
I believe that the majority of men aren't emotionally mature.
No,
To deal
No,
with
that's not what you asked. That's not the question.
I don't believe that men are emotionally mature to deal
That's
with
not the
multiple
question, though.
You're
women.
not answering the question.
That's-
The
thank you.
question is, do you believe that the majority of women have the capability to even
The majority of women.
Men, excuse me, men.
to have the majority of men
Thank you.
have the capability to even get 5 women to deal with them at the same time.
What does that have to do with what we're talking about?
you believe that
Do you
or
believe
not?
that? That's what we getting at. Do you believe that?
I don't know the majority of men.
Like I said, so when y'all are talking to these dudes that don't even be about that life, that doesn't hold weight. That doesn't hold weight if they do suck, and not all of them are suckers. What I'm saying is this: you can't
think we
talk.
saying
And the same with a woman. It's same with a woman. We not talking to women that ain't experienced at a certain level. That's why we take a lot of what you say with a lot beyond a grain
I
of
can
salt.
say something and oh my God, no
No.
men are doing that. No men are
why.
doing that. He even said it was imaginary. So I feel like I have to prove my point
Right.
to show you that men are doing it. Then you move
I do believe they doing it.
then you move the goalpost to something else.
Let me tell you.
Because this whole thing was proving the point that men do it because you guys said
No,
it was
let me-
imaginary.
I always said they do
There's
it.
no man who
I said
ever
they do it.
cares
I said they
about
do it.
how many men a woman has slept
I didn't
with.
say that.
Like,
let me tell
now
you.
you
let
didn't
me-
say that.
I didn't. Let me tell you. We saying two different things. This is why. This is why I reacted that way. Men care about how many women they sleep. How many men women sleep with. What I said was because we care, men don't ask that. We don't want to know that. We don't want to know.
but if you found out, it would make a decision. It would change how you thought of the woman. That's the only reason why you don't want to know. It's not because I don't care. Women are sexual beings. Women have a life. They should do that. It's only because, I don't want to be with a hoe.
That's why I said we were
That's
saying
it.
two different things. And yes, you are correct. Most men care if you had 265 sexual
That's all I
partners.
was saying. That's all I was saying. And I don't know why. It's just like men that we have to go around the mulberry bush and the yellow brick road just to agree to what the hell I was saying.
Hold on,
No,
you
because-
said it, but
because
and
you
I
said-
agree
No,
with
we
that.
gotta go
but
through
then-
all this shit
but you-
and
not
all
true.
these arguments
It's not
just to be
true.
like, oh, well, you were
Hold on.
right.
It's
I
not
agree
true.
with that. But
No,
I'm
that's
gonna
not
let y'all
true.
have
It's
it.
a- it's a
I'm gonna let y'all
mulberry
have
bush.
it
You
because
just
I be
talking over me.
imagining
That's
shit.
not-
No, it's a
I
mulberry
don't know what
bush
I'm talking
when you
about.
avoid questions
All
too.
these men are suckers. No, I'm
You
not
avoid
avoiding
questions.
I'm not
I don't know
avoiding
majority of men.
questions.
We know.
I'm not
You-
avoiding questions.
you don't have to
because
tell us you don't know
y'all
majority
do
of
this
men.
shit. Y'all
No, we
do
don't.
this shit.
No, we don't.
It's not that I avoid questions.
You
I
just said
just
I don't-
avoid the bullshit. Smarter than that.
No,
I'm smarter than
that's
that.
called- that's called avoidance. That's called avoidance.
And then you say you mean something else.
No,
When you
I never
say-
said I meant anything else.
when you
I
say-
never said I meant anything
When you
else.
say men, when you say men, ask women how many partners they had, that's triggering. No, they don't. They don't do that. But if we find out, it matters. That's the difference. So yes, when you say
You
that,
just confused me. So you just said they don't do that?
no, when men don't ask women how many partners they had. They don't
Not
do it.
probably not.
It's to move the point forward. It's more like the Mario Winans syndrome is what I call it. Like,
Right.
I don't want to know.
You don't want to know,
Yes.
but it matters.
Yes,
but,
it does
But
matter.
the point.
I don't want to know because it matters.
It matters, but the
Yes.
point
Thank
is,
you.
there are men who do ask these questions.
We do, yes.
They are, and that's
Yes.
my point. Just because you don't and you don't feel it's necessary, there are men they vet women, they want to research, they find out because it's important to them. They do ask these questions.
Yes, and I also, in the same way that we can admit to that question has been asked by some men, because once again, we don't know every man and every woman either.
tell
So
you.
what I'm saying is this. What I've always
tell you.
stated. Hold up. What I've always stated was this. My point of not just this conversation. If you haven't experienced something, I'm not buying what you're talking about. That's all I'm saying. With anything, I'm like that. That's my rule in life. If you haven't walked those shoes a little bit, if you a dude that talk all this shit about chicks, first off, for me, with dudes I be asking at, dudes that I know, if I ask certain dudes, they not saying, when a dude asks me, yo, what's up with short, hit it. I'm not saying she a hoe because I hit it, but I don't want all that, yo, what about shorty? Yeah, I'm not the type to be like, yo, well, you know,
Look how the
I don't know
conversation
about
goes
that.
when y'all
I
start
don't
telling
know
me I'm
about that.
imagining shit and
No,
shit
what
doesn't
I'm saying
happen.
is this. We never said it didn't happen like that.
No,
Yes, I
but
did.
He did say that part. He did
He
say that.
said it was
He said
imaginary.
that.
It never
It is.
happened.
My point
He said
was-
that we can have a conversation,
No.
but we can admit to
I
it,
didn't say
and
it
then we
never
can
happens.
we
I
can
said
talk
doesn't
about
happen.
it.
And whenever you get back to a corner, you say, well, they do that. Of course, there's some men that do that. But when we talk in
I'm not getting back in the
generalizations,
corner. I have to defend because
I
you keep
understand.
saying that it's not
you keep talking
true.
over me. But when we speak, we speak in generalization. So
Right,
when I
you
say
have
men
to.
don't do that, I'm saying majority of men don't do that. Of course, there are some men that do that.
But why, if we're speaking in generalization so we can have a conversation, what is the point in saying men don't do that? That's imagining, you're making that up. How does that move the conversation forward?
gotta know what
if
you-
we're speaking in general, because then I have to defend my point, and we
Okay.
spend 15 minutes me proving that this happens instead of
Because
going along with the
I'll tell you
conversation.
forward,
why.
because
I'll tell you
men,
why.
because we
I'll tell
talk,
you
men,
why.
men and women
The
talk in
reason
two
is
different.
Y'all
hold
do
up.
talk in two different
We talk in
languages.
two
That's
different
why I gotta
languages.
go through all this
Our
shit just to
language
get
is
through
this.
it.
Our language is this. When we say all chicks is freaks, or not, well, first of all, we don't say like that. But when we talk about in generalizations, we're talking the greater majority of number. So if it's 100% and 51 do it, it doesn't matter.
We can't,
even though it's
we can't say
no,
the majority of
what
numbers
I'm
because we
saying-
don't know the numbers.
But what I'm saying is this. So when we're saying it for the most part, we're saying we don't believe the average dude. So if you ask 10 dudes, 4 of them is gonna ask, how many sex partners you
don't
have?
date men.
We don't believe.
You don't date men, and
No, what we saying
you
is-
don't date men. So men aren't asking.
No, we can ask 10 dudes.
But
They're
men,
not gonna say
men
that.
aren't asking. Of course, they're not gonna tell other men that they're asking this shit. But believe me,
Why not?
they're asking
Why
because
not?
there's lots of shit y'all don't tell each other.
But why not? But why would they lie to a guy
because
about
you
that?
just called men clowns for doing that. So why would they?
No, I call
But
you a
trust
clown
me,
for asking
There
that.
are men who are talking and saying a lot of shit to women, then come to y'all and act like they're not doing that shit. That's just the way that it goes.
Oh, because by all means, women ain't saying all kind of shit.
I never said that doesn't happen, but we're talking about men right now. So just because you know men who doesn't do it, I can tell you 20 women who know that men have asked them these questions.
Okay.
They date men, and when I give you my perspective, I'm giving you the perspective of a woman who dates men, a woman who knows women who dates men. So I'm answering the question, oh yeah, men say this because I've heard it and women heard it. So to say, oh, that's imaginary, then you're just like, fuck what you're saying.
Well, when we talking, I don't believe most guys we know, or period, I don't believe the greater majority of guys are doing. That's all I'm saying.
But we don't know that. We don't know if it's the majority or if it's
No,
the
you wouldn't know
minority.
it's the majority because it would happen more often. It would happen more often.
That's hard to gauge. So you can't bring stats and numbers into a generalization. We're just having a conversation.
But
So
it feels
when
like-
I'm saying it's not the majority because, of course, I don't know every man. I don't know the number of men who ask this question. I don't know.
Yeah, but it feels like, so when you say that, it feels like you're dismissive of, like, we're talking from a man point of view. Like, we are men, right?
No, that's not dismissive. Telling somebody that you're making that up and that's imaginary, men don't do that. That's dismissing my point as a woman.
Okay.
That's just how we got here. That's it.
I see that touch the nerve.
No, you said you were triggered. You said you were triggered, and that's why you said that. That's why we got here.
But you keep
The
bringing it up, so
triggering.
it touched the nerve.
You were
and
triggered. You admitted that.
I'm
and it's
trying
okay.
to apologize for being dismissive.
You don't
of
have to apologize. It's a conversation. Let's just move forward. That's what I'm trying to do.
So back to Candace Owens, who you dismissed because last I looked, she's a woman.
Yeah, Candace woman isn't our woman.
She's a woman. I don't
She's
think
not our
we're
woman.
not doing that. This goalpost will stay still.
Just
This
like
goalpost
I
will
don't take
stay
anything
still.
that someone like Kevin Samuel says for fact.
Oh, you don't take anything
for
that
face value.
the difference
Candace
is
Owens
this.
is the same way to me.
No, see, but
She's the
that's
same way.
and you know why she's the same way because you threw Kevin Samuels there because you're able to be sensational with Kevin Samuels. Because my thing was this: you already made it clear how you feel about Kevin Samuels. But what I'm saying is this: Candace Owens can be a nut, but even nuts can make a point.
Candace Owens doesn't
You're
date
saying
black
Kevin
women.
Samuels never even made a
Candace
point.
Owens doesn't date black men. She doesn't like black
She's
people.
about men. She just said
has
men.
nothing she says in the realm of the interactions between black men and black women are relevant to me.
So, because Candace Owens and you've been doing a great job checking us out. So Candace Owens can't speak on the plight of black.
No, she can
and,
speak.
No,
she can speak.
She can't
She's
speak
not
on
valid
it.
to me. She can
Hold
say
on.
whatever she
hold on.
wants.
Okay, cool.
I don't
She can
like
speak.
her, and I choose not to listen
Cool.
to her. Period.
So it holds no weight because Candace Owens doesn't
I didn't
date.
say she didn't hold any weight.
You just said it to you.
Me.
Fine. So to you,
me.
hold up. So to you, she doesn't hold weight because she doesn't date black
No,
men.
because I don't like
or
her.
this,
She
that, and
doesn't
the
date
third.
black men.
Okay.
She talks shit about black people.
Yes, she
and
does.
I don't like the bitch.
Yes, she does.
You have how many more reasons do you need to know?
What I'm saying is this: it goes right back, and he knows where I'm going. Exactly what I'm talking about. When you listening to dudes that don't even walk these shoes they talking, and you're gonna tell me that just because they're men, their word means something. It means nothing.
Who walk what shoes?
That's
A man asking a woman how many sex
And
partners
when I
she
call them
has,
suckers, you
they're-
don't have the
but they're-
authority. You don't have the
they're
authority that I
walking
call them
the shoes,
suckers.
But they're walking the shoes.
And they're not. No, they're suckers.
They're walking
They're
the
suckers.
shoes.
They don't
they're
count.
Suckers
They
to
don't.
you.
No, because they suckers.
So what does that have to do with them actually saying it though? Regardless.
No,
if
because
they're
they're suckers. Because that's the
they
argument.
said
Only
it.
suckers do it.
They said it.
We don't count them.
So
I don't
Candace
like
Owens a
suckers.
sucker?
I don't like
I don't
suckers,
think Candace
and I
Owens
don't
is
like those kind of men that don't walk
I don't
there.
like Candace Owens.
Okay,
Period.
so cool. So when y'all come back to me with these, I was talking to my friend at work, and he said this: the nigga's probably a sucker, and I don't listen to his words.
Do you know how many
And
people probably
and he probably
said?
said,
Do you know how many people probably called you a sucker?
no, it's hard to call me a
Sucker
sucker.
is subjective.
It's hard. Play this. It's hard to call me a
Sucker
sucker.
is extremely subjective.
It's
and I'm
hard to
glad
call
that you
me a
have
sucker.
that amazing feeling about yourself that no one ever will feel that you're a sucker. I want
It's
you
hard.
to hold on to that
Yes, I
and
will.
take that with you for whatever that you
Yes,
do.
yes.
Because believe me, It's not the truth.
I'm pretty sure. Put it this: anybody can call anybody anything.
It's
but
all
it's
subjective.
subjective. But when you do a lot of sucker shit, and put this, you not liking me and you feeling I'm a sucker is one thing, because then you could gotta prove if I'm a sucker, and that's going to be the hard part for
No,
any
it's
man
not,
walking up.
because
Yes, it is,
it's not.
because the guys that I'm talking about, that I'm calling suckers, they gonna have to prove to me that they getting this kind of
Everybody has
pussy.
a different definition of what a sucker
but if we
is.
talking about just their problems with women and stuff like that,
That's what a sucker is to you?
No, that's a small example of what I'm talking about, where the nigga that's not getting all this pussy, you don't get to give your views on how pussy is being
So
got and stuff like that.
Every man that is
That's-
worried about a woman's sexual count is a sucker.
Yeah, that's sucker shit. Yeah, when you do sucker shit, that's how I
So
personally.
they just
that's
said
how I
that
view
they
it.
don't ask, but it matters to them.
I never said.
So
I
they're
agree with you when they
sucker?
said they asked. I wasn't in that train.
So you're saying
I did say they
any
were.
man who worries about a woman's sexual count and her sexual
If you're
activity,
asking, I
is
said
a
if you're
sucker.
asking,
Not,
if you're
so
asking.
just asking.
No, worried about it. You got your own mind. You keep a lot of stuff in because it does matter.
don't worry
It does
about
matter.
that.
No, women
It
do.
does
Some
matter.
women do.
It does matter.
And again, it's subjective. Some women
Yeah.
don't care. Some women don't want a man that's fucked everything, especially in a small town like Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
You would fuck 5 of her friends. Yeah, that does matter to people.
So what's nothing wrong with that mattering to you?
I never said it was anything wrong with mattering.
That was a statement. It's
No.
nothing wrong with a woman.
It's
I've
not-
heard more women.
People-
I've heard more women
Every
be
woman that I've
attracted
ever
to
dealt with
more
asks me how many
guys.
people that-
People like what they like and they want what
Okay.
they want, and they're not wrong for it. Whether or not they're going to get it is a different thing. But people can say, women can say they want this and they
Right.
want that. A man can say, I want a woman who's experienced but hasn't slept with a lot of men. It's a contradiction to me, but
Yeah,
it
it
happens.
definitely is. It definitely
but
is. Yeah.
people are allowed to do this.
But do you hear women saying, I've heard women, and this is just a talk part, I've heard women be like, yo, the popular guy or this, that, and the third. Guys don't really be wanting the popular girl in the sense of her being super popular, because it's better. Because for us, the super popularity kind of stops at the looks.
Right.
Now that's just subjective. That's just that's my personal opinion on that, because it's a difference between you being an attractive woman, and everybody can clearly see that. And of course, we know dudes is shooting up the club, shooting their shot every time they can try, as opposed to being that woman that's in everybody's face. That's a difference to me.
Women are the same way. We don't want the popular guy. Women will say the same thing. We don't want the guy who's popular on social media and they post a picture, they're getting 300 likes. I've heard women say the same thing. It's the same thing. We want the guy who's laid back, doesn't spend a whole lot of time in social media, doesn't need a whole bunch
But
of
you
attention.
want him as a husband or just a boyfriend? Because that guy that gets the 300 likes definitely has a whole bunch of scores of women that want him because he's that guy.
That's what there's, and the same way men jump in women's inboxes, women do the same thing to men in the DM. So women feel the same way. We don't want the guy who's always on social media and popular and everybody's after him. It's the same thing. I don't know why y'all think that women are so different in what men want.
So y'all shooting up the DMs?
Yes,
hold on,
women
hold on.
do.
Go ahead.
Yes, they do.
So have you ever heard of the saying from women, don't nobody want a man that don't nobody want?
We've heard that too. That's what I say. When he first said it, what did I say? It's a whole bunch of contradiction. Everything that you're gonna say, I can find a contradiction for. It's stupid. Women say that all the time. We don't want nobody that nobody else wants. If a woman isn't going after my man, he must be ugly and I don't want him. I've heard that too. I've heard men say the same thing. You want that woman that you take to the cookout and the uncle is like, damn nephew, is that you? If you don't get a damn nephew from your uncle, you don't want her. You've never heard that?
I heard that.
Yeah, but that's not based on popularity or status.
It's based on looks.
It's based on looks. And I think what he was saying is based on popularity or status, women seem to want the same guy. A lot of women seem to want the same guy.
I can only go by what I've heard, and most of the women that I know and what I've heard, women don't. They might, yeah, he looks good, and it's an ego thing. You got the popular nigga, just like women. Men do the same thing with women, but when it comes down to it, we don't want the popular nigga that's in everybody's face. We want the laid-back guy who's not on social media.
See, but I hear you when you said that, and what you just said just now, when you was just like, well, I can only go off of what the women tell me. But you just told me a second ago, because when I told you guys, don't go told me guys ain't gonna tell me the truth that way.
Listen,
you don't think your friends?
Let's not.
you
I'm
don't-
doing that so we can move the conversation
are.
along.
It is
So
moving
no
on.
one is
Let's move it-
telling
let's
me
move it on.
But it is
that
a
you
move
don't
on.
know
Right.
everybody. I said that
understand.
specifically.
No, we didn't say. It's not.
I did it on purpose.
No, it is a move for that. Actually,
No,
that
because
is
we
a
get
move
ready.
forward.
We get ready to go back. We get ready to go
No,
back right back
I'm
on the
just-
same bullshit.
No.
I said that
But I can
specifically
only
on
go
purpose.
by what I've seen. I can only go by what I've
So,
seen.
hold
and
on,
I've
hold on.
witnessed. Hold on.
So what are we talking about when we talking? What are we talking? Because our point is this. No, we need, because this is a good episode. This is our last part of the segment. What I'm saying is this. For me, and this is going forward for every show, I'm talking from experience. I don't want to hear from other people, because you know why? I got friends that have lied to me in my face, said I ain't moving like this. Come to find out, that's exactly how they're
Right.
moving. So when you said that,
But
that was a
first,
trigger for me. Like, you niggas is
experience
fun.
isn't always just about what you did. You live.
No, and the
you,
people-
You live long
person-
enough.
the
and
person
you're
better
close
be
enough
doing it
to a
too.
lot of people, because
Yeah.
someone can have some bad ass shit, and you learn from their experience that that's not what I want to do. So you can't always say I'm only going to speak from a place from experience, because there's a lot of shit none of us
No,
are going to be
because
able
if
to
the
talk
people
about.
that's telling me if their experience is what, put this, their experience is what their experience is. I get that, but you're not going to have no experience trying to talk on the subject. That's my whole point with everything. You have to have some experience in it at some point,
No.
from a first-hand standpoint.
How do you think that you have so many, drug counselors and psychologists who never actually done this? You have people who are excellent marriage counselors who've never been married, but they have the knowledge.
Because the United
and-
States said, read this book,
No,
you take this
but you have
class,
the
we'll
knowledge.
give you a certificate and a
There's
license,
so
and
much,
now you can talk.
There's so much that knowledge can do, and there's so much that experience can do. It's good when you have them both, but that's not always the case. So I feel as though someone who researches a lot, who listens to a lot of people, who gets opinions on things, has a lot to offer than just someone who just has the experience. They can both go hand in hand.
I
Because if we
agree,
just have
but
experience, we can't talk about
I
shit.
agree.
I can write a book. I can write a book on Martin Luther King, and I can't tell you what happened.
I also think. I
'Cause I
also
experienced
think.
it.
You're right.
I also think that you can research things that you want to see. I think you can research anything, and you can get your opinion. You can get whatever you want your point of view to be. You can get it validated through any type of research if you're not open with the research. You know what I mean? But I was going to say, from what I saw, what I seen in high school, college, even after college, is the name brand niggas get all the women, man. It just is what it is, man.
The flashy.
And I know a lot of name brand niggas, man, that got a bunch of women. And to me, because I was not a name brand nigga, I was decent with the women, but to me, from the outside looking in, for my peers and friends that was name brand niggas, all the women liked them.
The popular man.
Yes, and I think that's what he was saying. And I feel like a lot of women that I came in contact with kind of go for the name brand nigga, and then they settle for something in between, or they get older and wiser. And just
That's
get
what it
something
is. 'Cause a lot of this context is when you were 20 and 30 years old, 45. A lot of shit I can't relate to now. The name brand man, no, I'm checking for 401ks and retirement and stock portfolios. So it's just being in its proper context. And again, women my age, where that popular dude, that's no more at this point in life. So it's hard to go back to that mind state of when you wanted the popular dude with the name brand clothes.
The problem is what she said about that with up at the age, and like you said, in the 20s and 30s. That's 100% the truth. This is why this is going to forever be a merry-go-round, because a lot of guys, and I'm going to talk for the guys for there, if not a lot, guys, let me take a lot off of it. Guys, what if you were kind of, I'm not saying not on your 401k shit, but you had a certain level of maturity early in life, and it didn't yield you the kind of results from the opposite sex, because you were pretty good looking, you thought of the future,
right,
and things like
you were
that
in the books,
at
yeah.
those times. Not just the books, because you could be cool and everything else like that, but the whole thing is you were already looking forward, and people were kind of just living in the moment at the time. We all been there. You've been 20, you just do whatever. You go to a club you leave out at 12 o'clock just to get there. Now, if they don't call, if you went out at 12, that shit turns them, I ain't really that cool with them anyway. I'll send them a thing, and that's just it. You in the crib or whatever. So I think it's always going to be a merry-go-round because people are at different stages of their life and maturity at so many different turns.
ages, yeah.
And the problem is, and just use the word problem, is I'm going to put this on the men. We get scorned differently because with this once again, I like to make it personal. My mother did a great job raising me. But the one thing that she kind of always used to say, initially, a lot of my struggles came with the opposite sex is because she used to always drill in my head, treat women with respect, women like this, be a gentleman, such and such. And there's nothing wrong with those morals that were placed. But it took me through heartache and certain things to realize I could still be respectful, but everybody doesn't deserve the certain thing. And I had to learn that. I had to learn that through many heartbreaks. And I'm gonna look right in the camera, through many of times being scorned a certain way because I'm treating you like this, but then I'm sitting back, and it's not about comparison, but it kind of is. This dude treating you like shit, and you're giving all to him, not just your body, everything. So that had me like, oh shit. So you mean to tell me I could have did that? But you know what the trick with that is? I could have never done that because that was never me.
That was never
off the same way. It would have never came off the same way. Because trust me, I done tried to be the thug tough guy. Not tough because I don't touch women and stuff. Try to be that guy. Yeah, I don't care. Knowing damn well, nigga, yes, you do care. Type thing. So I think a lot of the issues come to people at different parts of their lives and your experience with certain things because you try to curtail your life based off all the bad things that might have happened.
And then you go forward putting everyone in that box.
Yes.
What someone did to you. Yeah.
That's exactly what that is because the things that work, you keep that. The line that didn't work, you're like, oh, I gotta scrap that. That's why I like to tell a lot of women a lot of times too. I'm like, some of the worst lines that a guy said to you, they've worked.
They worked on someone.
They've worked on somebody. This is why they keep using it.
That's why they keep
this is why they keep using it
game.
like that. Yeah. And there's been times I say certain things, you be like, ooh, that fell so flat. Take that right out the book. Stuff like that. So I think a lot of that energy comes whether they the popular guy or not. Because I like to mess with women when they say, oh, I don't deal with the drug dealer, I don't deal with the popular guy no more. And it's like, oh, when did that stop? But you realize you can't get it back. She was 22 or whatever. Getting in the club, like this, we about to wrap it up, but I remember, come on, we went to mortgages and school and stuff. $10 parties. You know how we used to stunt when we would go to DC? The club is $10. It costs $10. That damn line was down the block. I paid a bouncer $20. We walked straight in. Chicks would see like, oh, they just be walking straight in. Not knowing, all we did was pay an extra $10. And that extra 10 made us look like something. So when they came in the club, they was like, oh, that's them dudes right there. They never stay. And we go a few times. Right. Well, they never stay online. No, we didn't know it was gonna have that kind of effect. We just didn't want to sit on the line. But after a while, it's like, oh, so you see me doing that. Oh, you seen the owner giving me a pound. Oh, that's how that works. But that's the things you learn, as life go on. So, want to wrap up this episode of
I think
Ocean's
we need
View.
a group hug.
Oh no, we'll get one off camera. No, that one, I love that segment.
We'll have a debriefing segment.
Well, no, that one was great. That one was great. That one, I think that's what, I ain't gonna say that saved the episode, but it definitely gave it some umph to it like that. So we're gonna be here every Monday. We drop at 12 o'clock on YouTube. Subscribe and like. Cocktails After Dark.
I'll pop in when I can.
It's still Cocktails After Dark is a subsidiary of Oshin. Subscribe to them. You subscribe to us on YouTube and everything. Follow on IG, Ocean's 2 or Ocean's 149. And we'll see y'all next week.